18 warships, 16 tall ships, 8,000 sailors from 17 countries have sailed here to commemorate the centenary of the first entry of the Royal Australian Navy's fleet into Sydney Harbour. Tonight, the pinnacle of the celebrations, the International Fleet Review Spectacular. Yes, 40 warships in total making up the Armada here. Hello and welcome. I'm Stephanie Brantz. With me, Laurence Mooney down here on Sydney Harbour on this gorgeous evening for what promises to be a remarkable and indeed spectacular show.
Absolutely, Steph. Very exciting. Hello and welcome. There's been so many amazing vessels on Sydney Harbour all week. Right now, off to our right is HMAS Gascoyne and behind us is HMAS Sydney. Later on during the show, they'll be lit up so you'll be able to see them.
Yeah, there's heaps of ships, but there's also almost 1 million people who've come down here to watch the commemorations and the celebrations. They've been down here all day watching what's going on, and they're waiting for the highlight, which is 30 minutes of the most choreographed light, sound and fireworks show that Sydney has ever seen.
We are in a really privileged position. We're right on Bennelong Point in front of the Sydney Opera House, and tonight for the first time, images will be projected onto both sides of the Sydney Opera House and onto the pylons of the Harbour Bridge, bringing you 100 years of Royal Australian Naval history.
Yeah, and indeed also a first. There will be fireworks launched from the decks of the warships.
Absolutely. Now, apparently this is very dangerous, and there's a lot of paperwork required to get explosives and rockets onto warships, which I would have thought was standard practice.
Yeah, who would have thought? But there are many warships behind us. As I said, there's 40 around Sydney Harbour, and they're not just Australian. They come from all over the world, from places like the USA, from China, Japan, Malaysia, Thailand, and indeed the UK.
Speaking of the UK, Steph, a very special guest has travelled halfway around the world from Old Blighty to be part of the celebrations and was down at Campbell Cove this afternoon. Let's check it out. Here at Campbell Cove, eagerly anticipating the arrival of His Royal Highness Prince Harry. I'm personally looking forward to meeting him. I'm sure it's going to happen. I'm pretty excited. Australia has turned on a magnificent day to welcome Prince Harry to Sydney.
Well, the Opera House won't move, will it?
I've specially chosen this royal blue tie. I've heard he's got a thing for ties. The Prince is certainly shaking more girls' hands than men's. Lovely to meet you. He didn't touch me, but I was only this far away.
You're a reporter?
Yes, I am. Yeah. Thank you very much. He said he liked my tie. He said he liked my tie. Everyone, Prince Harry said he liked my tie. God save the Queen. Prince Harry was down at Campbell Cove. I got to shake his hand. Have you met Prince Harry?
No, I haven't met Prince Harry.
Well, you can touch my hand and there's a little bit of royal DNA there. Clearly, you're in the Navy. What has been your highlight so far today?
I've been part of the Royal Guard today, so that's a pretty big highlight for me, yeah.
And what does the Royal Guard involve?
We were the ones that were lining the ship to greet and to say goodbye to the ship as well, when Harry and the Governor and all of those people, were leaving. So.
Very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
And are you looking forward to the fireworks display and, I suppose, the historical depiction of the 100 years of history of the Royal Australian Navy?
Yeah, I am. My grandfather served as well, so it's a big highlight for me tonight, yeah.
Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
And we have here a mother of a sailor. What is your son's name?
James Rollo.
And where is he tonight?
He's on HMAS Broome, just across outside Luna Park, getting ready to press the button.
Right, he's actually pressing the button.
No, I don't think he is actually, but he's on the ship. Yeah.
Well, we send a big cheerio to him and congratulations to you too. Back to you, Steph.
Thank you very much, Laurence. Yes, there's so many people down here waiting with anticipation. There's a party atmosphere building, and someone who must be especially looking forward to it joins me now, Captain Nick Bramwell, who is the person behind all these celebrations. Are you excited or nervous?
Very excited, Stephanie, very excited, like everybody else here, I think. It's also very proud and satisfied that over 2 years of planning is coming to culmination tonight.
Indeed. And what have you enjoyed the most about all the celebrations?
I think yesterday it was a wonderful fleet entry into Sydney, and of course today Sydney's turned on a spectacular day, and I think our Navy and the visiting Navies has put on a fantastic show today for the ceremonial review. It's just a wonderful event.
Captain, congratulations and enjoy this evening. Thank you for your
Thank you very
time
much,
tonight.
Thank you.
Of course, it's not just all about a party and a celebration tonight. There is a serious side to it as we commemorate 100 years of the Royal Australian Navy. In 1901, new formed as the sovereign nation of Australia, we would be masters of our destiny. We would be masters of our own naval future. And so, 100 years ago, a British admiral lowered his flag in Port Jackson, while an Australian admiral raised his over the fleet of our first Australian ships. Fast ships, modern ships, a dreadnought swift and powerful. His Majesty's Australian ship, Australia. And 6 consorts, His Majesty's Australian ships, Melbourne and Sydney, Parramatta and Yarra, the Encounter and the Warrego. The foundations of a modern navy. A modern navy for our modern nation. And at the beginning of the century, war came soon enough. And success too for our Navy. His Majesty's Australian ship, Sydney, trapped and destroyed the German raider Emden. Our first submarine, the AE-1, was lost off New Guinea. No one was ever found. Supporting the Anzacs of Gallipoli, the AE-2 ran amok in the Sea of Marmara. Till she too was trapped and captured. Against all hope, war was not quelled, and soon enough, the world was at war again. And Australia's Navy served. In every theatre, from the freezing Arctic to the Coral Sea, the Australian Navy served. Served and fought. Fought and won. And sometimes lost. And joined in the eventual victory. Victory in Europe. Victory over Japan. There was peace at last, but still, we needed our Navy. In conflicts on our doorstep. For tragedies at home. So tonight, in the place that saw the birth of our nation, we commemorate a century of service and sacrifice. We remember all that has been achieved. We look forward to the future. In a celebration of a centenary of the Royal Australian Navy. Remarkable history. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Do we need to run for cover?
No, we don't. Behind us, there's some counter flares being discharged, and they are, of course, to attract heat-seeking missiles to protect the aircraft that they're coming from. Just a taste of what is to come. Very spectacular there, the counter flares being discharged. And a great history too, the Australian Navy, always serving, always protecting, and we thank the men and women involved, both past and present, Steph.
We do, and someone that's managed to get up close with some of those servicemen and women is our own Scott Bevan, who's been, well, he's been embedded on the HMAS Sydney for a number of days now. Scott, there's been a lot of official duties for your ship, but what's the mood like tonight? It must be more festive. It's a new role.
Steph, it is extraordinary here, right in the midst of the harbour, drinking in the excitement coming in from the shorelines. In fact, I can just about look over and see you. But as well as this ship that's normally renowned for firepower being used tonight for fireworks, what's also lit up are the faces of the 200 crew. And one of those is Sub-Lieutenant Rebecca Avila. Rebecca, you're a Sydney girl.
Yes, I am.
So what's it like to be a Sydney girl on the Sydney in the midst of Sydney Harbour for this event?
It's remarkable. It's almost surreal. It's a privilege to be able to work with such fine, talented people in an environment like this, and I feel honoured to be a part of history tonight.
Indeed you are, Rebecca Avila. Thanks very much. Enjoy the show. Steph, back to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Scott. We'll check in with you after the show is over. We're not far away now. Laurence, what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, apparently the fireworks display is going to be the biggest ever seen on Sydney Harbour, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm getting very excited. And
a narration of the entire history of the Royal Australian Navy. It is the International Fleet Review Spectacular, and Laurence, I think we should help everyone count it in. We're down to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Around the foreshores, crowds of thousands from every vantage spot. The shout goes up. There she comes! It's battle cruiser HMAS Australia, the greatest fighting ship the Commonwealth has seen. This truly is Australia's National Day.
defiance of persistence by Germany in her invasion of Poland, Great Britain has declared war upon her, and that as a result, Australia is also at war.
Prime Minister, men and women of Australia, we are at war with Japan.
Check. Fort Bridge. Check fire.
Our doorstep. 3 Japanese midget submarines attacked Sydney Harbour last night, just after 8 p.m.
National news from the ABC, read by Peter Young. All of Australia is mobilising to help the victims of the cyclone which flattened Darwin yesterday.
They have no grave but the cruel sea. No flower lays at their heads. A rusting hulk is their tombstone, a fast on the ocean bed. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
spectacular in absolutely every way. What an extraordinary way to tell the story of the 100-year history of the Navy. And Laurence, an incredible tribute to our naval servicemen and women.
Absolutely, and so emotionally charged. Just looking around me, there's so many faces just lit up with big smiles and also choking back tears. People are filled with wonder and awe, and I mean, just the last post mixed in there amongst all of that, it really was something remarkable.
It was beautiful and timed, of course, to perfection to that musical score. That was done by the Royal Australian Navy's musical director, Lieutenant Commander Paul Cottier, who just timed all that. It was moody, it was fantastic.
It was, and the sound of the final of fireworks here along Sydney Harbour was just intense, and it also reminds you of what our naval men and women have to put up with in, you know, a time of war. So it had everything, and I'm almost speechless, although I have to keep talking because that's my job.
But you're never speechless, Laurence. Hopefully someone who had a different perspective to us, Scott Bevan on HMAS Sydney, can tell us what he saw from that angle. Scott.
Steph, let me tell you, the excitement, the tears and the cheers weren't limited to just the shoreline. The servicemen and women here on HMAS Sydney were just the same. They're just here, they've been taking photos, they have been cheering. Let's ask one of them what they thought. What's your name?
My name's Morgan Douglas.
What do you think about what you just saw?
That was amazing, beyond amazing. Words can't even describe it, and I'm sure everyone here agrees with me. Right, guys?
So, as far as the crew of HMAS Sydney is concerned, a resounding success.
Certainly was. Thank you very much, Scott. Glad to see you enjoyed it, and all the servicemen and women on board HMAS Sydney as well. Laurence, I'm glad you enjoyed it as well.
Thanks,
and
Steph.
We hope all of you at home had as wonderful a time as we did. Thank you for joining us for the International Fleet Review Spectacular 2013. Have a great weekend.